The Calgary Police Service Child Abuse Unit has charged a man in relation to a historical assault dating back to 1994. The charges were laid after the victim contacted police to report a series of sexual assaults that allegedly occurred during counseling sessions with his pastor. Wagdi Yuosif ISKANDER, 52 years of age, of Calgary, is charged with sexual assault and sexual interference with a child under 14 years of age. At the time of the alleged offenses, the accused was the pastor of the Arabic Baptist Church, which used space at the Cambrian Heights Baptist Church. Today, the Arabic Baptist Church is known as the Calgary Alliance Church and uses space at the Foothills Alliance Church. We encourage anyone who has been a victim of sexual assault to report it to the non-emergency line at 403-266-1234, no matter how long ago the incident occurred. For more information about how to recognize signs of child abuse, please visit the Sheldon Kennedy Child Advocacy Center website at www.sheldonkennedycac.ca. That's it from my statements. Any questions?
So can you explain just the timeline when the victim actually came forward?
The offenses happened between 1994 and 1995, 96. The victim came forward to the Calgary Police Service in 1996.
And so can you just talk about the development since then and why we're now able to press charges?
So when the victim came forward in 1996, the file was assigned to the child abuse units, and two detectives began a thorough investigation into this file. Due to the victim's young age, the family chose to not pursue the matter through the courts and wished the church to resolve it. The victim and his family then contacted the Calgary Police Service again in 2012 and asked that the matter be reopened for the possibility of criminal charges being laid. And again, the child abuse units reopened the investigation and laid charges last week.
And so it was reopened in 2012 and now charges are now. So is this DNA evidence? Can you talk to that?
No, I won't speak to the specifics of the investigation per se. However, the victim was almost 20 years older at this point. Safe, has had no contact with the alleged offender for many, many years. Good family support, and unfortunately speaks to the busyness of the child abuse units with other priority files coming in. The detectives assigned to this case, there was a lot of witnesses to be re-interviewed, files to be relocated or located, and consultation with the Crown Prosecutor's Office.
Any indication that there are other charges pending, like other victims?
At this point, it's an active investigation. We encourage anyone that has pertinent information regarding Mr. Iskander's involvement with the Arabic Alliance Church over the course of the last several years to contact the Calgary Police Service through the main dispatch line, and they'll be put in touch with the child abuse detective.
Okay. Have any other victims so far come forward?
We're in the process of talking to a number of people.
Was he acting as a pastor just as of late, up until the point that he was arrested? Was he still in that capacity?
No, it's my understanding that he hasn't acted as a pastor since approximately 2012.
Can you say how old the victim is now?
Close to 30 years of age. Yeah,
And how old he or she was at the time?
11 years of age.
And can you just speak to why in 2012, you could just elaborate a little bit more on, you mentioned before they felt safer, that they're older. Can you just elaborate a little bit more on why they decided to come forward in 2012 and perhaps the broader message of getting the message out to victims of sexual assault to come forward no matter what the time frame?
Well, yeah, it's some victims need that time period to feel safer, to have that family support, the support from the community. And no matter when they come forward, whether it's historical or if it's yesterday, today, we're certainly willing to listen to them and support them and conduct investigations on their behalf.
And can you describe what the crimes were? Was this fondling? Was this serious sexual assault? Not that fondling isn't serious sexual assault, but can you describe the type of sexual assault it was?
We're looking at about approximately 50 to 60 incidents of sexual touching, masturbations, molesting over, the course of when the victim was 11 to almost 13 years, so almost 2-year time period.
So 2 years of alleged abuse.
Correct.
With the one victim, right?
Correct.
Okay.
That Mr. Iskander's been charged for in this offense.
Just generally speaking, is there no statute of limitations issue when it comes to these sorts of crimes? Is it?
No, there's no statute of limitations when it comes to serious offenses like this.
Okay, is that, what we need?
Is he in custody? Sorry.
No, he was brought into this building or the other building last week and interviewed and released on promise to appear. He'll appear in court approximately 4 to 6 weeks down the road.
Sorry, the victim was 11 at the time.
Correct.
Is he in any other sort of position of authority or a position of, to where he might be counseling other people? I know you say that he wasn't acting as a pastor, but can you say what he was doing?
Well, it's my understanding from the primary investigators that Mr. Iskander is a well-known public speaker in the church and has traveled internationally for several years. That's all I can speak to.
And sorry if I'm belaboring the point. When was the victim 11 in 94?
Correct.
Okay.
Perfect, thanks everyone.
One thing before we wrap up, though, the photographers here, can we clarify the exact scene? Because we need to get footage of where this assault happened.
The assault did take place in different locations. Other than Calgary, there was another Edmonton happened. The offender's home residence. So,
Okay. Can we get a clarified address though? You mentioned Cambridge Heights.
well, Cambrian Heights is where the alleged offender was acting as a pastor at the time.
Okay.
It wasn't. The offenses weren't taking place in the church, to my understanding.
Okay, sorry, repeat that. You said the offenses were not taking?
Not taking place in the churches. He was acting as the pastor for, at the time,
Okay.
as the Cambrian Heights Baptist Church.
Okay, thanks for clarifying that.
And then after these incidents, it became the Arabic Alliance Church at the Foothills Alliance.
At the foot,
So
yeah,
not
just
during these-
and just sharing space through both churches, Foothills Alliance and
That was after the fact, though.
correct.